Hi, welcome back again. In this lecture, we are going to check on different types of software organizations and how it defines your whole recruitment process or the hiring process and how it is directly proportional to the complexity of your interview. So let's move on. So there are three categories of software organizations. First one is a product-based organization, the second is service-based organization, and the next is product and service-based or something we call as a hybrid organization. So these are three broad categories of software organizations, and let's take a look at each one of them in detail. First, a product-based organization. Now, what's a product-based organization? A product-based company designs its own software product. It has an idea, it puts in lots of resources and money on it to convert that idea into a software product. And this is done even before any client, any customer, or any end user asks them. So this is something they do it voluntarily. They think that this product is something that people will need, and based on that, they convert that idea into a software product which can be used by its end user. So, as I said, once the product is developed, it is open to the market. Now, let's take a few examples of product based organization. The most and very common example that I give is the Windows operating system. Now, Windows operating system came into existence or was developed by Microsoft, and then it was marketed to the end users. Before that, nobody could even think that there could be something like Windows I need, and then if I could have a start button, and then I could see the applications installed. So the end users could not think of it, but then Bill Gates and his team, I think they worked on this terrific idea and they made it converted into a reality. Also, Amazon, AWS Cloud, or even the Amazon Shopping app, or look at Apple. Nobody asked for iPhone. There were other phones, but iPhone was altogether a different idea. They put in a lot of money, research, resources on it, and then they came up with a fantastic product called iPhone, which is a super hit product. So one thing to note here is the product-based organizations are not necessarily a software organization. It can be a combination of software and hardware. For example, Apple in this case is a combination of the iOS operating system and the iPhone, which is a combination of hardware and software, or same iPad or Mac also. Now look at Google search. Amazing product. We cannot even think of any search engine other than Google nowadays, right? So these companies, Google, Facebook, or even your games, PUBG, or even Netflix for the matter of fact, or Spotify, all these are very interesting products, highly popular all over the world, millions and billions of consumers are using them. Now, all these product companies had an idea in their mind and they really made it working. So that's how product companies work. But then the thing is, the product companies hire very limited talent because they need very few but highly skilled resources. They do not need thousands and thousands of people to work on the product idea. What matters to them is that the resource should be highly skilled. He may be from an IIT or MIT or Berkeley. Each individual is highly skilled. Now, once that idea is conceptualized and discussed, and the design is ready end to end, after that they might need more people. So that's where like freshers like you come into picture. But again, they do not approach any college or any university. They are very choosy when they approach any college or university. Each college has to have a reputation when they decide that I want to hire graduates, fresh graduates from this particular college. So the point to note here is they hire very limited talent. The difficulty level of the interviews is very high in product-based organization. You saw these products, right? And you have used these products. So the thought process, the idea, the usability of the product is really amazing. So they need really very good brains to work on this product. People who can think on their own, and not only that, people who can contribute to their product. That's how they are thinking when they are hiring fresh graduates. So the difficulty level of the interview is high. It could be data structures, complex programs, operating system core knowledge, writing pseudocode, writing codes in shell script, Python, and then the number of rounds they have during the interview is also very high in number. Like for example, in product organization, I heard like Google, Microsoft, the interviews go for 2 days or 3 days. It's not that you're sitting 8 hours for an interview, but it could be like you have 2 3 rounds today and again a couple of rounds more on the next day and a couple of other on the third day. The difficulty level is very high, but then the rewards are also very high. These companies are very innovative, so you would definitely like the work. You will find it interesting. You get higher salaries, perks, benefits, and definitely a brand name. So imagine you're telling your friends, "Hey, I got an offer from Facebook or Google or Microsoft." I see a lot of these posts on LinkedIn. I really feel good when people post that, and sometimes I think it's their dream job that they achieved. So that's what product-based organizations are, and your interview preparation should be really, really good when you're facing a product-based organization. So these are very few select names that I have on the screen. There are many such small and big product organizations, and the interview difficulty level really does not change there. It is still little high, even if the product organization is small, or even if it's a startup, they really need good talent. Moving on, the next category is a service organization. Now, compared to product, where a product company has its own idea and converts into a software product, the service organizations are a little different. Service-based companies, they work for a client. And when a client approaches them with a specific need or requirement, they take that requirement and then they convert it into a software product. For example, I'll give you an example which is very relevant to the graduates or freshers. Let's say your college or university needs a software to manage all the student data, they need to manage all the staff data, and then they need to manage all your exams, your mark sheets, your grades, and then like all that fee modules, who's paid what fees, who is overdue, all their expenses. So this is a requirement of a university. Now there is no ready-made software for this. So this is where exactly the services organization come into picture. Now your university has to approach a services company, and then they give their requirement, and then the requirement analysis is done, then it goes into design, and then a lot of people are put on there to work, and finally the product is delivered. So that's what service organization is. Now a service organization is a mass recruiter in campus placements. So if you go to countries like India, Infosys, TCS, Wipro, Cognizant, they literally go to tens and fifteens of colleges and hire thousands and thousands of fresh graduates. Now, why do they hire thousands of graduates? Is because the scale of the projects that they get is so high that they need more number of people to deliver in less number of time. Now, here they compromise on the intellectual level of the candidates. So they are not always looking for very bright fresh graduates. They go by an understanding that, you know, I can go ahead with a low to medium difficulty level of my interview, but I'm fine if the candidate has some spark. That's what they think of. Why do and how do they adjust to this? The thing these service organizations do is once they hire thousands of these fresh graduates, they have their own training program. So once you join a services company like Infosys or TCS in India, or even for the matter of fact Accenture, they have a 2 month or 3 month training program for the fresh graduates, so that everybody's knowledge is same, everybody is at the same level, and everybody can see the organization from the same eyes. So that's why they hire so many candidates, and then they invest a lot in training these candidates. So interview level in these service organization, the difficulty level is low to medium. And the industry wide packages or salaries offered by the service organizations are average to high, I would say. And because these projects are given by a third party client, sometimes you will need to travel to third party locations or out of your country to work on these projects. That's why you see a lot of people moving from India to US or UK to work on client side projects on H1B visa or L1 visa. That's the whole reason of this. Now, example of certain services organizations are Accenture, Infosys, TCM, IBM. There are a lot many services organizations, literally in thousands or millions, I would say, small and big. But this is what service organizations do. They take a requirement, understand it, and deliver as per their customer need. Now, the third category of organization is a mix of services and product. They have their own R&D center for their products, and at the same time, they have a services unit or hierarchy which caters to the services of customers. Example, IBM. Now, IBM is a very big giant. It has its own R&D center also, and at the same time, there's something called as IBM Global Services, which caters to the customer needs. Same with Mastercard or Visa. They have their own products, but they also cater to the other banking needs also. So this is what product, service, and a hybrid organization work. Now, in a product or service, in case of a hybrid organization, your interview level will again depend upon whether you are appearing for the R&D level of that or R&D department of that organization, or the services department of that particular organization. So that's it for this particular lecture, and thank you and see you in the next lecture.